Okay, so we have logged into Georgia MLS and we have gone to Paragon and we have created the transaction on the listing that we want to put the offer on, or we just went into Transaction Desk and created the listing on our dashboard by clicking on Create Transaction. So the transaction is now here. So we're going to open the transaction, and previously we added forms here. If you have not already added your forms, click on this Add Forms button and go into the documents and select the documents you want to appear on this transaction. So we're using GAR forms in this training video, and we have the F201 Purchase and Sale Agreement. It's going to auto-populate some information from when we created our transaction. We're going to enter our offer date. And just a side note about our offer date, this is the 2021 printing of the GAR documents, and it's the mid-year printing. If you're using a different version, a later version than the mid-year 2021, your documents may be a little bit different than this, but the theory is still the same. So we want to fill in almost all of the blanks on this. You very rarely leave a blank on any of the documents. So the transaction filled in the address, the county, the MLS number, the tax ID number, and I have already chosen deed book as my legal description. Please do not leave your legal description empty because that is an essential term of the contract. And I don't know the exact deed book and page for this example, but you go to gsccca.org, Q Public, or the tax documents, and look for the deed book and page where the warranty deed is for this transaction, and that's the deed book and page that you would use. This house is listed at $859,900. We're going to offer a full price. Your buyer has to decide what price that they're going to offer, and the buyer needs to decide if they're going to ask for closing costs or not. And then based on our offer date, it's going to take about 30 days for this lender to finalize their loan. So we're going to go to the calendar. 30 days from now is the 12th, because there's 31 days in July. The 12th would be 30 days. It's going to take them 2 or 3 days to accept the offer. And so I'm going to extend that out and say we're going to close on August the 16th. We do want to take possession at closing, or if the buyer and seller agree upon it, you can do the temporary occupancy after closing and make sure you attach the F219 to that. But for training purposes, we're going to take possession at closing. Holder of the earnest money, it is smart to use your broker. There are many reasons I'm not going to go into, but if you've attended any of the Maximum 1 CE training classes, you will hear to please use the broker to hold the earnest money. And then whomever your buyer's favorite closing attorney is, if they don't have one, you can recommend 3 and let them choose from those. So you fill in the favorite closing attorney. And then whatever your form of earnest money is, if you collected the earnest money at the time of this offer, you're going to check that box and put in the amount. You also need to say whether it's by check, ACH, cash, or wire. In this instance, we're going to do $4,000. We're going to do it within a number of days of the offer date. We're going to say within 2 days of a binding agreement, we're going to have that money to the broker to deposit. Due diligence, we're going to ask for 5 days. Check with your inspector or any companies you want to have do inspections, or your buyers want to have do inspections, and see what their time frames are so that you can put in the right number of days. It's a competitive market right now, so I'm putting in 5 to make it a short due diligence period so that our offer will look more attractive. Now, on part 2, if you're putting in any additional option money for additional days of due diligence, you're going to put that there. We're offering $0 because we're not asking for any additional days, and if we do, we're not offering to pay for those. So do not leave this blank, put a not applicable, and put 0 in there. On the lead-based paint, this particular house was not built prior to 1978. It was built after, so we do not need a lead-based paint exhibit. If you did, you would need to check that and include the F316 that the seller has already provided prior to you making this offer. Okay, so this shows that I'm representing both sides on this one, but normally you would have a different brokerage representing the buyer, or you might have somebody within your same company, and then you would be acting as designated agents. In this particular this particular example, we're going to say that someone from another brokerage, we would put the brokerage name there, and I'm sorry, we're representing the buyer on this one, so let me fix that. So maximum one is going to be the broker for the buyer representing the client, and then another brokerage is the listing brokerage, and they are representing the seller as a client. And we don't have a material relationship, so we're going to put not applicable. Today's the 13th. We're going to allow them 48 hours. You can allow whatever your buyer asks you to, but we're going to say at 5 p.m. on 7/15/2021. And then it skips down all the way to the exhibits page because all of the legalese is on the preceding pages. That has corresponding information for everything you put on page 1, as well as additional terms to this contract. So if you're tabbing through, you're just going to automatically be taken to the exhibits page. So here we're going to use the conventional loan exhibit as exhibit A. The seller has provided a seller's property disclosure. We're going to put that on here as B. If you have a temporary occupancy, you're going to include that. You have to put check marks in everything that's included in the offer, and your exhibits are lettered, not numbered. Amendments are numbered and exhibits are lettered. So if you have a legal description exhibit, you're going to check that one and put the next letter on there. You want to go in order A, B, C, D, E. Don't skip any letters. And then if you have any special stipulations, we're going to say all parties acknowledge and agree that seller shall provide purple paint for bedroom number 2 5 days prior to closing. And we'll say at no expense to buyer. And we're not really going to put a consequence there. I'm just giving you an example. Please make sure you check with your attorney or your broker on any special stipulations that you write. Okay, so we did not sign in our contacts on our wizard or on our transaction the buyer information in this one. I didn't create any, but if you had created the buyers as contacts in there, it would fill this in for 1 or 2 buyers, or if you have additional buyers and you include an additional signature page, it will fill all of those in for you. It's going to fill the agent's information here, the brokerage information. Make sure that you put the right phone number and address that you want to be notified at. I changed mine to the Paulding office because that's where my office is, and if there's anything being mailed, I want to make sure that the office manager at my office gets it and gives it directly to me. And I always take the fax number out just because that fax number does not come to our particular office and I don't want to receive notice and miss it. So, ways that I can be notified in this contract per the terms up on the previous pages are at my email address and at this phone number. And the broker can be notified at this phone number as well. That's why I changed this mailing address so that it comes directly to the office I work out of. So that is how you fill out the purchase and sale agreement, making sure that you're including all terms that the buyer wants included in the document. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below or send me an email. Again, this is Patty Lovelace with Compass&Key, and we would like for you to like our videos and subscribe to our page. Leave us any comments, and you can email us at info@compassandkeyhomes.com. That's info@compassandkeyhomes.com. Thanks for watching.